The title of today's Brandon's blog is Receivership in Canada, the complete story of whose happy receiver is it anyway? The Ontario Superior Court of Justice Commercial List just released a decision dealing with an important aspect of receivership in Canada. The case is concerned with what happens when two equally applicable provincial laws appear to be working at cross purposes in the context of a receivership in Canada process. That is what this Brandon's blog is all about. My name is Ira Smith, president of Ira Smith Trustee and Receiver, Inc. Both Brandon Smith and myself are available to answer any questions you may have, either about this Brandon's blog or anything else at all. So shoot us a message, give us a phone call. We would love to speak with you. I hope you can watch until the end of this video because I know you will get value from it. Secured lenders may enforce their security to recover loans from a defaulting borrower, normally a company, and this remedy available to secured creditors is called receivership. In Canada, only licensed insolvency trustees can be a receiver. So in order for readers to be able to understand the nuances of this case better, Brandon first goes through basic background information on receivership. He goes through what does going into receivership mean? What is the difference between a court-appointed receiver and a privately appointed receiver? How is receivership different from bankruptcy proceedings? And what are the key distinctions between receivership and liquidation? Brandon also answers the question, can individuals be placed in receivership? The answer is yes, and the example he gives is one of our more famous receivership administrations, and Brandon gives all the details below. So now for the case, whose receivership is it anyway? This is a case of a company that was set up like many other companies, one with an operating company to operate the actual business, and the other with a holding company to hold the owned real estate. The equipment that was meant to be used in the operation is sitting in the operating company, and the real estate is sitting in the holding company. So this is a case of an equipment lender who took security on the equipment sitting in the operating company, who made application to court for the appointment of a receiver, not only over the operating company, but over the assets of the holding company as well, both the real estate and all the equipment. The mortgagee had already begun power of sale proceedings and was in possession of the property because of the default of the holding company borrower. The mortgagee came to court and said, if the equipment holder wants a receivership over the equipment in the operating company only, that's fine. But by the way, you can't have a receivership over our assets, the real estate. And also, by the way, the equipment, our position is affixed to the building and cannot be removed without lessening the value of our building and, by the way, your equipment. And the mortgagee also said, but court, if you're going to appoint a receiver over everything, don't let it be the receiver that the equipment lender wants to act. Let it be the receiver that we're nominating. And both firms would have been fine, and both firms consented to the appointment. So the court had to look at everything and to see whether it would be just and convenient to appoint a receiver over everything or just the equipment in the operating company, and which receiver should be appointed. So this is the cross purposes of the Personal Property Security Act, where the equipment lender had security under, and the Mortgages Act, where the mortgagee had security under. And the court went through 16 different items that it had to consider in determining whether or not to appoint a receiver, over which assets, and which receiver. And Brandon describes it fully below. In the end, the court determined that it was just and convenient to appoint a receiver over all the assets, and then for that receiver to come back to court to get approval for a sales process, to show the court how the proposed sales process will maximize the value of all the assets, and then once sold, to come back to court with its recommendation on how to distribute the proceeds. What should go to the equipment lender, what should go to the mortgagee. And Brandon explains all that below, and the court ultimately decided to appoint the receiver nominated by the mortgagee. So I hope you can read the entire Brandon's blog below, because I know you will get value from it. Again, both Brandon Smith and myself are available to answer any questions you may have, either about this Brandon's blog or anything else at all. So shoot us a message, give us a phone call. We would love to speak with you.